Number 1, what are the classifications of flour and describe each of them. Number 1, the all-purpose flour. It is the most versatile form of flour that can be used in a variety of recipes. And the number 2, whole wheat flour. It's a coarse texture brownish flour, and it's usually prepared from firm red wheat. And then number 3, pastry flour. It has a lower protein content and is more delicate than all-purpose flour, and it makes soft pastries and chewy cookies as well as great pie crust. And number 4, bread flour. This is the strongest of all flours, and bread flour provides the most structural strength. And according to Food Network, this is especially important in yeast bread, and where a strong gluten network is required to contain the CO2 gases produced during fermentation. Next, cake flour. It is a finely milled flour made from soft winter wheat, and it is finer, lighter, and softer than all-purpose flour and has a lower protein level. Next, unbleached all-purpose flour. It has a slightly off-white tint that fades with age and a denser grain than bleached flour. And the last, white whole wheat flour, and it is a whole grain and lighter in color than the standard of whole wheat flour. Even if it isn't fluffy as like the all-purpose flour, white whole wheat flour has a lot to offer. And then number 2, what is the role of sugar in baking? Uh, it maintains the softness and moistness of baked goods, and sugar's associations with water allows it to lock in moisture and preventing products like cakes, brownies, and frostings from drying out too soon. Sugar are a vital element in both homemade and store-bought dishes. Sugars improve the flavor and texture of many foods, making them more appealing. Number 3, what are the different types of leavening agents, and why do we use them in baking? Number 1, yeast, and it is the biological leavening agent. Yeast does more than leaven dough and gives it a light, sponge-like textures, and it is also add taste, aroma, and nutrients to bread. And next, baking soda and baking powder. It is belong to chemical leavening agents. Baking soda aids in the browning of baked goods, whereas baking powder is used to improve the volume and lighten the texture of baked items. And the last is steam, and this belong to vaporous leavening agent. During the evening springing process, steam is essential to keep the surface of the bread moist and easy to expand.